What's up, guys, and welcome back to Absolutely. I am Hassan, that is Dan, and we're going to talk about Deadpool today. But before we talk about Deadpool, you guys need to go to G Fuel. Those drinks are fantastic. They sponsor the show, and if you use code comics, you get 10% off when you purchase. And you guys subscribe to the channel. You have to. I'm tired of you guys watching these videos and not subscribing. Subscribe. This is a demand. I'm holding you hostage now. That's what this is. But other than that, let's talk about Deadpool, because Deadpool and Logan just got put on a Disney Plus.
Yes,
so we're finally seeing some movement.
Oh my gosh. And so you guys are aware, we are currently filming this Friday, July 22nd, before anything has been announced. So if between now and then that this goes out, do not get mad at us. We don't know anything.
We're just doing our best, guys. We're doing our best. But we're going to
pretend like we know everything.
So they just announced Deadpool 3. It's coming out next week. 1 week turnaround for a movie.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, of all people, Ryan Reynolds doing like we've actually filmed the whole thing and it's coming out like next week.
Oh my God.
Of all people, I could see that.
Goes out during Hall H and says, so I could talk, but here's the movie. And then plays the entire movie. And then people just gonna sit and watch all of Deadpool. That would be incredible.
That would be fantastic. I will say I'm going to have to rewatch Deadpool and Logan because I loved Logan.
I never saw it. I saved it. I was a fan of... I know the X-Men movies aren't perfect. I know most of them aren't even good, but I had like a little bit of nostalgia with it. And specifically the Logan movies, I had like an old childhood best friend and we would see every single one of those together. He wasn't around when Logan had come out, so I still haven't seen it. And then I've heard that it's the greatest thing that X-Men ever did.
So good.
So I am scared to watch it because it's like the last little piece of that universe that I still have to watch, other than New Mutants, which I will not watch ever.
The New Mutants doesn't exist, luckily.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. It didn't come out for 5 years. So
never came.
But yeah, I really, really want to see Logan. I'm very, very excited to rewatch Deadpool. Deadpool, I remember like as a movie theater experience was really, really fun. I had like a special like story with my friends to go along with it that I think like adds to what that movie ended up being for me. And the Deadpool 2 was fine. I didn't like it anywhere near as much as the first one, but I liked it in general. But 3, I feel like Deadpool 1 works so well because it was a cultural phenomenon, right? Ryan Reynolds leaks an animation that leads to him getting a movie and then we're all there for it. Deadpool 2 was just a sequel to that. This one is Deadpool in the MCU, which is so much more fun.
Yes, it's... I am so excited because, like you said, the second one, it was good, wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah.
But Deadpool 3, now that they really have their footing, he has a much better idea of what people enjoy from both of those different movies that... It's gonna be really interesting.
And really Sean Levy's directing it too, which he's great. I don't know if you've seen Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds did Free Guy together. They did the Atom Project together, and now they're gonna do this together. And Sean Levy just got off of directing Stranger Things, so this man is a proven workhorse talent, legend, and for him to be the guy bringing in MCU, and also the fact that these two have done this many movies back to back to back together, their dynamic has to be beautiful. It has to be really, really fun, and that's what brings out the best performances when actors and directors are really comfortable together. I have a friend who's in Black Panther 2, and he hasn't told me any spoilers, but he said that Ryan Coogler's dynamic on set is what is really setting the tone for that movie because it's got really big shoes to fill. But that bodes really well for Deadpool because Sean Levy's coming in and him and Ryan Reynolds are the duo that they've been. So that'll be fun.
And he gets to reference
it.
I'm just so curious what they're going to do. Like, I don't know if this is going to be they show up, because I think it's without a doubt, we know it's going to be in the MCU.
Yeah.
We know that it's going to be part of that, but there's 2 ways that they could do it. And that's start it with him in the MCU and then have the movie be about him in the MCU, or have an entire movie that ends with him going to the MCU. Because I think it would be... Sure. See, I think there's so much potential of being able to use those properties in a Deadpool movie and then finish it with them going to the main MCU. Because it would be fantastic to see, this won't happen, but Deadpool versus the Marvel Universe. But then somehow at the end, he like goes through and he's like, well, everyone's alive here. Like, well, I guess I got to go do it again. Or so basically just giving them the freedom to use all of the MCU characters, potentially the actors, and have Deadpool do Deadpool things. I don't see it that way. I just kind of hope. I just don't know what like storylines, or if they would even do storylines, or if it would be just a Deadpool movie doing Deadpool things. And like, I mean, it would be pretty great if the whole movie is Deadpool during the entire MCU timeline. So throughout it, you see different events from the different movies happening. Like all of a sudden, like they've got him and they show it with like the invasion of New York. We have like them talking about, is it Sokovia? Markovia? Sokovia. That's
Markovia.
The one. Markovia.
You know the Markovia Accords from DC Comics?
Yeah, it's DC. They're the Ovias. But I think there's just so much potential, and I don't know what direction they would go.
I have no
what
idea.
do you think they might?
I don't even know where to take it, but in my brain, right, I just keep seeing a Chris Evans Captain America hanging out or talking to Deadpool, and he's like, look at that guy. Remember when he was in the Fantastic Four? They don't want to talk about that. And then he's like, guys, the plan is Sam's going to go in here. Tony, and like he has to ignore him because there's no way they can't talk to each other.
Right.
Like they physically cannot. It feels, I almost am nervous about Deadpool being too much in movies and stuff because it's so meta. It's so referential. Like for a fact that when he sees Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he's gonna be like, so those other Spider-Men, you still see them? Do you ever notice that they look like the guy from The Social Network and the guy from Seabiscuit? Think that's a little weird? Also, why'd you look so different? Doctor Strange did the multiverse. They all look like him. You want to explain that, Spider-Man? Like, that would be so much fun. Like, Peter, how do you know?
That would be good.
Wait, how do you know my secret identity? Come on. It's written all over your face. And then it's going to pan to him, and Deadpool like put marker on his face and wrote Peter Parker on. Like, I can see the little bits like all over the place. And I mean, Ralph Boner's in the universe now, Quicksilver. And I think it'd be so fun for him to be like, you used to be really fast, huh? He goes, no, my name's Ralph. Okay. Wait, what's your last name? Boner. I like you, Ralph Boner. And then he leaves. Like, it's not even like they're not going to go any further than that. Just bring him back just for that. I still really want him to be Quicksilver in our universe. Like, I really want for him to stay because I'm not a big fan of Aaron Taylor Johnson. I'm just not. I just don't like him on screen. I think I liked him in Kick-Ass, and that's about the only thing that I like him in.
Right.
So I'm really hoping that they bank on the other Quicksilver. But yeah, there's so many little, like, I can just hear the little jokes. And then you put Thor in a room with him, this new version of Thor directed by Taika. So, do you sleep with the giant rock monster? No, I've never slept with. What did he tell you? Like, there's like the little bits and little moments. Your daughter looks awfully like Chris Hemsworth's daughter. like little moments, like I can feel it. But will that be the MCU jumping the shark a little bit? It's a lot. It's Deadpool worked because Fox was dead. So it didn't matter what they did. He literally like, they're fighting on a helicarrier. Like, but they don't ever say it's a helicarrier because they're like, we don't own that.
See, and like everything you're saying makes me feel like it would be almost better if this was a Deadpool and the Multiverse of Madness, because you could put Deadpool with so many of these different iterations of the different characters and making these comments and like have them end up for some reason in the like the main MCU. But it would be great if like you said, if he goes and he sees like Fantastic Four, Chris Evans, and then jumps universes again and finds Captain America. He's like, wait, weren't you just on fire a second ago? Like, I could see so many more potential jokes if the multiverse is included. And I feel like we've reached the point that we can use the multiverse. Like it's kind of free game now. And I think they could very easily make it make sense of the timeline teleporter that Deadpool uses starts going wonky, starts sending him to different universes, different timelines in the different universes, because then you do get the ability to do a lot of these jokes. Like you can even have him seeing Jane Foster as Thor. Like you can have him potentially even reference the fact of, wait, isn't that old Captain America with Peggy? Does that mean that he kissed his daughter or whatever? Like,
yeah, there's so many little bits, and like, I mean, the bits really write themselves in these movies. Just like, so Nick, Mr. Fury, Nick, can I call you Nick? He's like, no, you cannot. It's like, so on Captain America's list, it said Star Wars. How'd that work? I mean, were you like, just like, what do you think of that? There's so many like little in jokes as the actor and a lot of stuff, but even just like within the universe, didn't you guys fight a much bigger purple dude not long ago? I'm so confused. Why are we struggling with this? Whatever. And like it'd be funny if Deadpool is one who clarifies like our understanding of how the spell worked on Peter Parker. Like, who knows Peter? What do they know about Spider-Man versus what they know about Peter Parker? It's like, okay, somebody sit me down and explain this to me. So nobody remembers Peter Parker, but he did exist, right? But he has to get his GED. Why? Wait, I don't understand. But they all know Spider-Man because they said Spider-Man was doing. Just explain to it. Just like they could use Deadpool to like explain shit. Like
which
really
would
annoying.
Be fantastic if they did that, and then the people like whoever he's talking goes, dude, who the hell is this Peter Parker you keep talking about?
I'm pitching Luis explaining it to Deadpool.
Oh my God.
Oh, that'd be so fun. So he was like this crawly guy who crawled on the walls, and then he had other two guys that looked just like him, but they weren't him because they were him from another universe. And then they had to help the wizard guy, and he closed the portals, and then everybody forgot him. So he had to get his GED. Like literally that. He's like, okay, I like you. What's your name again? Like that's oh my Marvel, hire me. Are you kidding?
That would be good. I would love like when you mentioned Luis, I would love if it was like Luis giving an explanation of everything, them doing cut flashbacks to the situations, and they've just put Deadpool in all of them.
Yeah.
Like don't really even reference it, but just kind of like throw him in so like he's giving like the full history of this universe, and Deadpool's just in the background doing random shit. But that would be fantastic if it is Luis, because I still stand by it. The fact that they didn't have him explain everything in the MCU to catch people up, or just to simply do like a full recap before going into like Endgame and stuff, wasted opportunity. But they did.
That's the worst part. They filmed it. They did. They filmed him doing that.
And they just didn't release it?
They didn't release it. They filmed him doing that. Kevin Feige talked about it. Yeah. They underutilized.
I was hoping that was fake, because that would be such a waste.
Yeah, I don't know when they're going to use it, but they have it. So, which is just, it's stupid that they did that.
Oh my gosh. What if they did that? Like Deadpool shows up, is talking to Kevin Feige, and Kevin's like, you know what? Hold on. Let me just get you caught up real quick. Puts in like this DVD.
The Luis video.
And then it's Luis doing it, and it is that video.
Well, and in it, Deadpool could just be like, I like that little guy. He's kind of cute. Do you know where I could find him? And then at the end of the movie, it's like the mid-credit scene, and he's opening a door, and it's like the security company they works at. Hi, I'm looking for Luis. And then it just zooms into his face, and that's how the movie ends with like Michael Pena like smiling at the camera or whatever. Hey, welcome to security, whatever. Oh my god, this movie writes itself.
It really does.
I really can't wait for these writers to do something cool with it. I'm not like, I haven't been excited about the MCU. I could have gone to Comic-Con with Benny and Sal. That was an option available to me. I would have had to fly out there, which would have been pricey. I didn't, because I haven't been super excited about stuff going on right now, and we're going to Seattle Comic-Con in not very long. So I haven't been like the MCU has been really hit or miss. I've had some stuff that I really loved and stuff that I really, really did not jive with. So, and DC hasn't put out anything that I've liked in a long time. So I've really just been in limbo. But a movie like this could be exactly what we need to kind of like steer the ship in the right direction. Can you think about 2016, a movie, Civil War and Deadpool came out at the same time. So Deadpool came out February, Civil War came out 2 months later.
I did not realize it was that long ago. Jeez.
It was that year. It was an incredible year. So I'll share the little friend story of like how we ended up seeing that movie. I was going with 3 of my friends, and one of their moms, this very conservative little old Christian lady, she looked up a description of Deadpool and read the scene during the montage where Morena Baccarin puts on a leather outfit and gives it to Mr. Poole, and she just read that description.
International Women's Day?
Yeah, International Women's Day.
Yeah,
that bit.
Okay.
Which she read that and she goes, under no circumstance can you see this movie. So we got tickets to freaking Hail Caesar. And we're in the theater, and a bunch of our friends that we haven't seen in a while are all like, oh yeah, we're going to this showing of Deadpool. And then I'm just like, I'm calling an audible. We're going in there right now. And I don't know who the hell lost their seats. We had terrible seats, but it was like us and a huge group of our friends, and we were just watching Deadpool all together when we weren't supposed to. And it just stuck with me as like one of the most fun movie-going experiences of my life. And the fact that like we made the right choice. Like that was the theater crowd for us. A lot of people in the comments have been commenting that I'm a weird peasant freak person because I like theaters that cheer and clap at things and that like it's like a fun thing for me. And I'm like, to which you guys say, I'm enjoying it. You guys can be miserable at home and be like, I like my movies in dead silence. I want to enjoy the theatrical experience. Well, that's all I want. Cool, dude. I like it when we're all getting excited about something and feeling the energy of other people. So that was one of those moments. Deadpool kind of ushered in what felt like, I don't know, like the comic book renaissance era. Like Civil War or Winter Soldier was 2014. And then we started getting like hits. And then Deadpool happens like, oh, we're not just getting like 1 or 2 hits. Like we're getting hits. And then it just kind of went from there. So I'm crossing my fingers. Deadpool into Incursions and Secret Wars and all this stuff. And we get to do something cool with it going forward. Because it's just, I'm excited. Like, I'm excited about this. Like, I wasn't excited before we had this talk. And now that we've had this conversation, like midway through, I'm like, oh my God, what if they do that? What if they actually do that? That'd be so cool.
That'd be so good. Because
Hugh Jackman comes back because of Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. The only reason he would.
And like you said, like it really does write itself. And when you mentioned Incursion, I had the thought of, what if they imply everything that's happened in the Deadpool Fox universe was on that world that had the Incursion, that had just Doctor Strange left, and the world had been destroyed, and somehow Deadpool leaves before everything gets destroyed.
Not a bad idea. And here's the thing, and they could do the same thing for the Raimi-verse movies, which I don't think they should touch those too much, but they also like, they say Doctor Strange's name during those movies where he's like, how about Doctor Strange? Ah, that's taken.
Yeah.
So there's your window into that. Yeah, there's a lot of potential now that we're doing the multiverse. I know the issue with the multiverse is that it becomes too big of a concept, it becomes too easy, and that's just kind of the pool where people write from after a while. Yeah. Everything is multiverse explainer, but we just got into it. Let's have some fun with it before we close that book permanently, and then we'll circle back to it in a decade. But I want to see Ryan Reynolds on screen. I want Chris Evans to come back only to have scenes with Ryan Reynolds. Falcon is Captain America now, and I'm not one of the weirdos who refuses to accept that on Twitter. Have you seen that discourse? It's been a lot, but it's I'm just excited. It would just be fun because there's so many really interesting characters in the MCU that I think would just, with Ryan Reynolds, like chemistry wise on screen,
right?
I'm sad that Scarlett Johansson is gone because they used to be, they have their little X thing. I would have loved to see that hilarity on screen because they both are absolute professionals, but you probably would have felt the tension even through the screen because it was awkward, but they would have wrote something incredibly funny for that. There's little things. So, Nick, were you really here or was that the green guy? I'm not sure. He's just like asking all the questions that really matter. How was Miss Marvel a fan of Captain Marvel? She really wasn't here that much, huh? That's the real thing I want him to say. Why was she a fan of a nothing superhero?
Oh my God, that'd be too good. There is too much potential for it to be bad. You know what? I'm going to jinx it. I'm not. I'm going to knock on wood. But the fact that it is the Free Guy director and Ryan Reynolds and they're doing their thing, And that I believe they have guaranteed that it's still going to be R-rated, even though it's a Disney property and all of that. Like, that combination just gives so much potential. And the Chris Evans thing, it has to happen. Like, they freaking got him to make that one reaction for Free Guy when he has the shield.
Well, and they got Ruffalo for, what do you call it? They got Ruffalo for Adam Project. So clearly they're friends with the OG MCU boys. I see no reason why they can't get Evans to come back. Evans has said that it would have to be amazing, spectacular for him to be willing to come back. He hasn't said he wouldn't, just that it has to be the greatest thing ever. And outside of the Disney Plus series that I want so bad of him returning the stones, that's the other thing I want. Which, oh man, we can talk about that endlessly. I want that more than I want anything in the MCU.
It turns out it's actually Deadpool. Deadpool shows up, grabs the stones. And
he travels back in time once to Peggy, goes, hey, you know that beautiful lady? Go to her. I got this, buddy. And then Deadpool destroys that timeline entirely. He gives them the wrong stones. Instead of the ether, he gives them like Thor, like the power stone or the mind stone. He goes, wait, what do I do with this? And then just hack me plots. Just nonsense ensues.
There's too much. There's too much.
This video won't end.
Yeah, we could go way too long on this. I'm excited to see what the announcement's going to be.
I am too. This will be a fun.
There is. I don't know if there was announced that there was an announcement.
They just so the reason we're even doing this video is because right now you can stream Deadpool 2 as well as Logan on Disney Plus for the very first time. Yeah. And there have been rumblings that in Comic-Con is when we're going to be hearing the next big piece of news about that. So to be determined, guys.
We will find out.
We will. But I'm Hassan. That's Dan. We are absolutely, use code COMICS when you're checking out G Fuel. Get a little money off for yourself, 10% off specifically, and then subscribe to the channel or else. See you guys later.
See you guys.